And at a press conference just this week, when asked whether she supported al-Qaeda, that's our enemy. That's our enemy. They are a very serious problem that we take care of, but they always seem to come along somewhere. She refused to answer. She didn't want to give an answer to that question. Omar blamed the United States for the crisis in Venezuela. I mean, think of that one. And she looks down with contempt on the hard-working Americans, saying that ignorance is pervasive in many parts of this country.
Is anyone surprised that I am being targeted? Is anyone surprised that I am somehow deemed unworthy to speak about American foreign policy? Or that they see me as a powerful voice that needs to be silenced? Frankly, it is expected, because when you push power, power pushes back. I didn't come to Congress to be silent. I came to Congress to be their voice. And my leadership and voice will not be diminished if I am not on this committee for one term. My voice will get louder and stronger, and my leadership will be celebrated around the world as it has been.
These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. We don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Just listen to this moment for a second. 2 U.S. senators publicly challenging a sitting congresswoman, questioning her statements and her role on a key foreign policy committee. The room is tense, the words are sharp, and the reaction across Washington was immediate. Moments like this are exactly why American politics never stays quiet for long. Welcome to Capitol Review, where we break down the most talked about political moments and explain what's really going on behind the headlines. If you enjoy clear, balanced analysis of major debates in Washington, make sure to subscribe and share the channel, Capitol Review, so you never miss the next analysis.
CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties.
In a town where we have a lot of people who are refugees who have come, some from Somalia, some from Bosnia, I've never heard one of them say that America's a terrible place or be unappreciative of our country. Most of them are thankful. I've met people who've come here from behind the Iron Curtain that got away from communism. They're some of the best Americans we have because they really appreciate how great our country is. And then I hear Representative Omar say, "Oh, America's a terrible place. I thought there'd be justice, and there's no justice here." It's like, well, she came here and we fed her, we clothed her, she got welfare, she got school, she got health care, and then lo and behold, she has the honor of actually winning a seat in Congress, and she says we're a terrible country. I think that's about as ungrateful as you can get. And so while I'm not saying we forcibly send her anywhere, I'm willing to contribute to buy her a ticket to go visit Somalia, and I think she could look and maybe learn a little bit about the disaster that is Somalia, that has no capitalism, has no God-given rights guaranteed in a constitution, and has about 7 different tribes that have been fighting each other for the last 40 years. And then maybe after she's visited Somalia for a while, she might come back and appreciate America more.
Now, when you argue with a fool, you just prove there are two. And I consider Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Tlaib, Congresswoman Presley, I think is her name. They call themselves the Squad. I consider them to be fools. They hate America. They think America was wicked in its origins, and it's even more wicked today. They ought to be thanking America instead of calling America evil and wicked and racist. But this is America, and they have the right to their opinion. But I don't like to see the president even dignify their point of view. Besides that, I think that the squad, as they call themselves, they are destroying the Democratic Party. You know, when your opponent is screwing up, don't interrupt him. Let him go. I mean, just looking at this from a political standpoint, if I didn't know better, I would think the members of the squad were GOP plants. I mean, they think that illegal immigration, socialism, higher taxes, abortion are all moral goods. They think America, Israel, free enterprise are moral bads. That's not what most Americans believe. And that's kind of where I am on the subject. The president has explained his position. He has said, look, here's what I meant. If you're not happy living in America, leave.
Omar laughed that Americans speak of al-Qaeda in a menacing tone and remarked that you don't say America with this intensity.
Omar details 6 statements she made as a sitting member of Congress that under the totality of the circumstances disqualify her from serving on the Committee on Foreign Affairs.
The representative can say whatever the heck she wants, but we don't have to accept it or embrace it. Individuals who hold such hateful views should rightly be barred from that type of committee.
The moment you just heard centers around criticism of Representative Ilhan Omar by Republican senators including Rand Paul and John Kennedy. Omar, who represents Minnesota in the U.S. House of Representatives, is one of the most well-known progressive lawmakers in Congress. She is often associated with a group of progressive representatives, sometimes called the Squad, which also includes figures like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley. Because of their progressive views on issues like foreign policy, immigration, and economic reform, members of this group often find themselves at the center of political debates. In this case, the controversy grew around past statements Omar made about U.S. foreign policy and about the aftermath of the September 11th attacks. Critics, including several Republican lawmakers, argued that some of her remarks were inappropriate or insensitive when discussing terrorism and American allies. Supporters of Omar, however, say her comments were taken out of context and that she was addressing broader issues such as civil liberties, discrimination against Muslim Americans, and the consequences of certain foreign policy decisions. The attention eventually reached a new level in 2023 when the Republican-controlled House voted to remove Omar from the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Republicans said the decision was about accountability and the seriousness of representing the United States on international matters. Democrats strongly disagreed, arguing that the move was politically motivated and that similar actions had not been taken against other lawmakers with controversial statements. What makes moments like this so significant is that they highlight a larger debate within American politics: how leaders balance criticism of their own country with their responsibility to represent it on the global stage. In the United States, political disagreement is common, and lawmakers regularly challenge one another's views. But when those disagreements involve national security, foreign policy, or historical tragedies, the reactions can become especially intense. That's why clips like this travel so quickly across media and social platforms. They capture the moment when political disagreement becomes a national conversation. And depending on where someone stands politically, the same moment can look like accountability to some people and political targeting to others. In the end, moments like this remind us that American politics is built on debate, disagreement, and sometimes very direct criticism between leaders. Understanding the full context behind those moments helps us move beyond headlines and see the bigger picture. If you enjoy thoughtful breakdowns of important political events, make sure to subscribe and share the channel, Capitol Review, so you never miss the next analysis.